Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. So I'm going to be doing a hashtag, and this hashtag was created by my sister Carla from Miss Kulala's Mystical Musings, that channel. The name of the hashtag is hashtag Tarot for the Querent. And this is what she said. This tag is all about getting back to the real heart of tarot, the Querent. I've put together 10 common real-world questions that tarot readers often hear. With a twist, they're all ethically framed to focus on the Querent themselves. I think this is a great way to show our process when the common complaint of consumerism comes up. This isn't just about showing the deck, it's how we use it. So I have chosen a few of these in order to just show you briefly how I would do it. But the questions, I'm going to put the questions down below, but I'm going to maybe go over them just a little bit, just even for the ones that I don't do, and maybe discuss how I might go about doing it. But let me just say, I am a person that loves using spreads, okay? I think using a spread, not just a question, really helps put things into perspective, because when we look at these questions, they are, even though it's one question, they are multi-layered, okay? So the first one, I just found out that my partner was unfaithful. What do I need to know to decide whether to stay or leave? Okay, well, there would be several questions in there that I would ask in order to give a good understanding, right? And I'm going to do that one. The second one, why do I keep attracting unemotionally unavailable partners? And how can I change this pattern? So again, there are several different questions in there, right? So I would maybe take a look at this one, your attachment style. So, attachment style spread. This is in my second Love of Spreads Oracle deck, the second edition. So, describe my attachment style. Why is my style like this? How can I improve my relationships? What is a red flag I need to work on? And how does this attachment style serve me? So that would be the one that I would probably do for that particular question, because it's a repeat pattern that she's doing, right? So the next thing I would, or the next question is, I'm unhappy at my job. Should I stay and try to shift my role, or start planning to change? So that's another one I'm going to do. 4, how can I improve my financial situation over the next 6 months? I would do the abundance flow spread. It's 7 questions. This is also out of my second edition. So what is my current financial, or my current abundance frequency? Why is this my current frequency? How can I better nurture this energy? How can this benefit my life? What patterns block my abundance flow? What is the root of this pattern, and how can I break this pattern for good? And the reason that I would probably do that is because ultimately, I mean, I could do like a card for every month for the next 6 months, or I could, draw 3 cards and show me a story, and then maybe 6 other cards, one representing each one of the months. But I think when it comes down to certain things, it comes down to our thought patterns and the things that actually hold us back, because it's all about the choices that we make and the decisions that we choose over other decisions, whether we're afraid to take chances or whether we take too many chances. You see what I mean? I think it comes down to several different layers of asking a question. This is why I was going to be a hotline reader, and then I started looking at it, and I was like, no, I know I can't do it, because I cannot answer something in 3 minutes for you. Sorry. My readings are more in depth, more in detail. So unless you're paying for a little $5 reading, right? Which I don't even think I do that. I might, who knows? I'm not sure what I've got on my Ko-fi. My relationship with a close family member is strained. What role am I playing, and how can I begin to heal or create better boundaries? That is another one that is multi-layered, and it would be deep questions about asking you about, because you can't change somebody else. So that would be several questions. I would create spreads around all these questions. The next one, 6. I feel lost or disconnected from my purpose. What steps can I take to realign? Now, I think I had one. Oh, yeah, the moving forward one. I have another one on, like, chakras, just different spreads that I would do for each one of those. Let me read that again. I feel lost or disconnected from my purpose. What steps can I take to realign? Yeah. I would do what is my purpose? Do some questions like that, and ask questions like, what makes you happy? What do you hate? Where do you feel blocked? Where do you feel abundant? It would be several questions that would help us get to the answer. Let's see. I feel 7. What lesson am I being asked to learn in this current life challenge? What lesson am I being asked to learn in this current life challenge? I would probably just draw 3 cards and see what the story tells me. The next one, I have 2 paths ahead of me. How can I best choose the one that's aligned with my highest good? I would just do one significator and another significator over here, one with like option A, one with option B, and then draw some cards and see what story it reveals, right? And then like probably some sort of like message from your future self or higher self on which path should you take. So you're just relying on yourself, right? But also, I always let people know that no matter that, this is the spread that, or this is the reading that I'm giving you. Ultimately, you have to make the choices. Don't let the cards make the choices for you. You probably all know this already as tarot readers, right? So, 9. What do I need to release in order to move forward with clarity? Well, I've got a moving forward spread, so I would use that. Where do I feel, this is in my first edition. Where do I feel stuck in my life? What thoughts hold me here? What actions keep me here? What needs to be silenced in me? What actions should I take next? So, yeah, that would be that. And the last one, what's blocking self-confidence and how can I begin to reclaim my power? And I'm going to do that one also. And the first one that I would do is probably like an imposter syndrome spread, which is in my second edition. So why do I feel like an imposter? Because if you don't have confidence, that's essentially what it comes down to, is you almost feel like, at least in my experience, that you're either not good enough, or someone is better than you, or the information that you have is not good enough. So essentially you feel like an imposter, right, in your own skin. So why do you feel like an imposter? What has caused this feeling? What can help me gain more confidence? Is this field something that I should pursue if you're asking about a particular job, or if you want to pursue a certain person, or you want to whatever, join a group or whatever, right? What will it look like if I do, and what will it look like if I don't, if I didn't or don't? Or the other one is finding courage. Why am I feeling this action now? What can I or will happen if I do it? What can or will happen if I don't do it? Who or what can help me now and next step to take for higher guidance? So this one is in my, can't remember if this is the first or second. I think this is in the first edition, but don't quote me on that because I can't remember for sure. So let's do the first one really quick. I just found out that my partner was unfaithful. What do I need to know to decide whether to stay or leave? Okay, so I have 2 decks. I chose to use the Tarot of Paul's Moon Tarot. Well, obviously the Tarot of Paul's Moon. I cannot talk today. And I just received a beautiful gift from my beautiful friend Selena, who is so loving and gracious and kind. And she knew I wanted this deck, so she sent me the copy of it. And her copy, actually. I feel so guilty for getting it, but it's the Oracle of the Witch's Candle, and she knew I wanted it really bad, so she sent it to me. She is so beautiful. Thank you, Selena. I appreciate you so much, and I love you, sweetheart. So, in honor of that, I wanted to use this deck. I'm not sure how it's going to read. I haven't used it yet, so this is going to be interesting. And then Tarot of Paul's Moon, because I think that they'll go good together. So, the first things first is we're going to use Mithras, my skull, as the Querent, okay? Now, the question was, I just found out my partner was unfaithful. What do I need to know to decide whether to stay or leave? So, what I'm going to do is shuffle the Oracle, and I'm going to draw 1 card for each option. One is, what does it look like if she stays, and 1 if she goes. Let's push this back, okay. So, if the Querent stays, what does that look like? If she leaves, what does that look like? 1 card, please. If she leaves, what does that look like? All right. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, the next thing I'm going to do is expand on that. Let me see if I can... Okay, hopefully that's better with a little bit more space. Let me just move this stuff back, okay? That way I got more room. All right, so... This is such a big deck. Show me what I need if the Querent chooses to stay in this relationship. What will she need to know if she stays in this relationship? What does she need to know? All right. You know what? We're just going to do this because we don't got tons of time here. Normally, that's not how I do it, though. I wait for flyers because that is what I do. Now, if she goes, show me what she needs to know about if she goes. Okay. All right. So let me review these a minute. Okay. So we have a situation here because the first one I see is my home is a sacred sanctuary. 4 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and 9 of Cups. So to me, just looking at a glance, in the beginning, it's going to take some time in order for you to trust them again. However, a 10 of Cups and a 9 of Cups very much indicates emotional fulfillment. So, and I will go deeper into that first in a minute. But let's look at if she goes. It says, I release the need to be right. Because in this one, she's got 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups, and Ace of Cups. So, I mean, it is so emotionally heavy. This is such an emotionally heavy reading, and of course, why wouldn't it be? But I feel like either option, it is telling me she's going to be okay. So in this option, it looks like in the beginning, because this is the first one, in the beginning, there might be a bit of healing and a need for forgiveness, a need for a lot of talking and understanding what happened. Because personally, if you came to me for a reading like this, I'm going to tell you it takes two people to tango, which means not that she's not a victim of that, but if it is truly a committed, loving relationship, and that is if it is truly a loving, committed relationship, people make mistakes, or people don't always get what they need and they're afraid to tell their partner. So I would say in either situation that she's going to be okay, but find out, like this indicates to me perhaps that she had been perhaps not emotionally, how do I say this, emotionally kind of tapped out in the beginning, okay? Like maybe she was not giving all that she could have to the relationship as well. Essentially, I'm just saying, look at your own, what you're putting into your relationships. Are you making those relationships your priority also? Because it takes two people in order to have an energy exchange, okay? And somebody, the fact that there was stepping out, I feel like there's a need for healing. If it is something that the other party wants to do. Obviously, there's going to be other questions that need to be asked in this as well. Like, I mean, is he asking for your forgiveness? What was the question again? I just found out my partner was unfaithful. What do I need to know to decide whether to stay or leave? Okay, so let's just assume, okay, because of the nature of the question, that the partner wants to work on it, and the partner is so regretful for what he did, and it was a moment of weakness or whatever, and he wasn't feeling fulfilled in the relationship, which is what kind of like a Four of Cups would indicate to me. But a Ten of Cups and a Nine of Cups denotes that a family could come from it, and emotional fulfillment, right? And a happy home life. And it says that the home is the sanctuary, the sacred sanctuary, right? So your partner, is it your husband? Have you been together for 10 years? There's context. There's always going to be context. So now if we look on the other route, it says, I release the need to be right. So that automatically tells me, had there been some sort of argument, or was this partner a person who always had to have the last word? Did they not listen to their partner and felt like they were always in the right and their partner was always in the wrong? Well, who wouldn't step out if that was the case? I mean, if they're not being emotionally, it takes two people. If they're not being emotionally fulfilled in that relationship, okay? So if you did decide to go, and you release that need to be right, maybe that other party always pushed you. Who knows? This is something that would be determined by an actual reading. With more questions, right? Thorough questions. I love doing face-to-face, so those kind of questions could be asked. And so the Three of Cups, Two of Cups, and Ace of Cups. This would indicate a new relationship built on good foundations. You feel like you're in a partnership with this person. Ultimately, you also fill each other's cups. So no matter which way you go, do you want to stay in this relationship? How invested are you in this relationship? Or are you wanting to adventure out and start a new love, as long as you've worked on your need to be right? Or because that indicates to me like somebody that is controlling, needs to control the narrative of their own relationships. But let's just look really quick what it says in the guidebook for this one, 81. Okay. No. All right. Arrogant. Yeah. Purple zodiac is Sagittarius. Element is fire. Lunar affirmations. Well, let's just see. Arrogance is pride. Arrogance is pride, a lofty height, a blinded soul lost in the night. Humility's grace, a gentle art, a humble heart, a brand new start. Let go of ego, find inner peace, a gentle soul, a sweet release. With open heart and open mind, true greatness found of every kind. So it's essentially what I thought. And obviously, with having the Querent face-to-face, I would be able to ask those questions as to whether or not this was the way that he was or whether or not this is the way that she was. And I'm just assuming that the Querent was a female, which might not be the case. But in this case, we're saying it is, okay? So are you willing to forgive and look at your own shortcomings? And how much time do you have invested in this? Is there family also in this? Or, because both paths look really good. So this was a hard one, right? Both paths look really good, which is good for the Querent to know. But let's just do a clarifier, I suppose. Like a 3-card message. Like, God, you're killing me here. Oh. This feels like something karmic. Like perhaps this had to happen in the relationship in order to be able to either step it up to the next. Yeah. Damn, this is not helping me any. Give me 2 more cards. Okay, 2 more cards for clarification of path. A or B. For the Querent. Future self. Okay. 2 more cards. All right. Okay, for me, I would say go with option 2, because what you need to know is, even though you might be getting over this, and if you do end up forgiving him, it could mean a very happy family, fulfilled family. Your family is happy. That would depend on whether or not you're already in an established relationship. Perhaps you have children together. You know, that would all be contextual. But this one, you would be willing to let that go, and the new relationship, you hopefully would not carry that into your new relationship. But in your past relationship, everything will be okay as long as you can truly forgive. Because if you can't forgive, you're always going to feel like you are competing or questioning your own suspicious mind. You're always going to think that, is he looking? You know, is he going to do it again? No, I can't keep my friends close, because this is like a whole bunch of friends, so I can't even bring any of my friends close. I would also ask, could this have been a friend of yours that he cheated with? Yeah. See, these are just so contextual. This is why I love having an actual detailed spread, because I think that this person's going to be okay emotionally either way. But I think that she's going to, if she doesn't have, if she cannot completely forgive, this is what it's going to look like for a very long time. So, and maybe this meant that although she's going to be emotionally detached, her family is going to be happy that she stayed if there's kids involved and all that good stuff, because this kind of question is very contextual. So that is the best that I can do in this situation without knowing the particulars, right? Which advice to go move on with. That's what I see. So let's try a different one. So the next question that I'm going to do, and I also want to say for context also, that I'm not supposed to be giving the querent the answer. That wasn't the question of what to do. It was showing the two different options or the paths, what she would need to know if she stayed and if she goed. If she goed. If she left. All right. So the next one. How can I improve my financial situation over the next 6 months? So, for that, I'm going to use Chris Ann, the Sacred Creators Oracle, which is perfect as a sacred creator, and the Light Seers, because it's about looking at opportunity, seeing the shadow, but moving towards the light. So give me a moment to get these out. Okay, so depending on what kind of a reading, and I want to also put that into the context of this. It depends on what the client is looking for, whether or not they just want a quick and dirty reading or whether or not they want something highly detailed. That's going to depend on what kind of a spread that I would do, what kind of time I would invest in the reading. Okay, but the next question is, how can I improve my financial situation over the next 6 months? So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a card from the Sacred Creators. All right. What can the querent do to improve their financial situation over the next 6 months, please? One card for the querent, please. Stop, drop, and bliss. All right, so I already know the answer to that. Focus on what you love. And as I said, everything goes back to the frequency that you're in my opinion, in this reality, okay? That's the kind of reader I am. I am a reader that's based off of my belief structure. I believe that if you want to attain more money or abundance, and I would ask what kind of abundance also that this person is looking for. If it's monetary abundance, then we would focus on money things. If it is partner abundance, love, then we would focus on love things. You see what I'm saying? So, but abundant, it all comes down to your abundance flow. So stop, drop, and bliss. Now I'm just going to show you how fantastic this book is. It can fuel just about anything. Bliss is badass. Tap into it and it can power your dreams. Building your biz is also badass because in order to take control of your time, your future, and your wealth, it means living life on your terms. Align your bliss and your biz to find your recipe for massive success. This is how you will fuel your momentum. If you have been caught up in the hustle, feeling anxious, stressed, or worried about the future, it's time for a pause. Full stop. Drop onto your yoga mat, drop into your movie, nights with your family, or drop your laughter, or drop into laughter with your bestie. Seriously, your soul is asking for this. Pulling this card means you need to pay more attention to your heart. Stopping and dropping can feel drastic. If you're taking on work that feels soul-sucking, you need to stop. If you're always worrying about your metrics, your money, or your future, you need to stop. Ruminate with Rumi instead. This may feel like a drastic change. It may feel like all of a sudden you are playing hooky from your to-do list. Know that you are deserving of this bliss. And yes, I would read right out of the book of for my querent. I don't have to do that with tarot, unless it is somebody that is also a tarot buddy of mine, or somebody wants more, also wanting to see what the creator had to say, and depending on what deck I'm using, right? But in general, for tarot, I wouldn't do that. But for oracle, absolutely, because it's all in the message in the oracle, in my opinion. So, let's see. Bliss isn't about sticking your head in the sand and pretending that everything is perfect. It isn't about fake it till you make it, And it isn't about chanting positive mantras when you honestly feel like muck inside. Bliss is about finding the real happy and finding it where you are. It doesn't have to be perfect to find a state of bliss. You can find it now. Dive in, journal prompts. This card has a big X in the middle. Yep. A reminder to stop blocking your bliss and a reminder to slow down enough to enjoy it. Are you so caught up in what you're doing that you've forgotten about your joy? Do you know where your bliss can be found? What makes you so happy that it floats your soul? Find that and then schedule it in religiously. Your bliss affects everything from your immune system to your sleep and from your beliefs to your future success. That X is also the Norse ruler of Gebo, or gift. It often signifies a partnership. Sometimes this partnership comes in the form of two people. Sometimes it's the partnership of you and your higher self. And it can also be your own union with the divine. Maybe there's a collaboration or a business partnership that will help take you where you're headed. Maybe it's time to patch up an old relationship or to pursue a new one. What gift do you think Gebo foresees? Surround yourself with people and attitudes that nurture your happiness as you work toward your goals. When was the last time you laughed till you cried? Maybe it's time to schedule a lunch date with a friend. One of the wisest things that I've ever heard about business, we hustle our asses off so we might as well have fun along the way. Make a list of things that you love and figure out how to tie them into your business somehow. Your bliss is your ticket to nirvana now. Pull bliss into each and every day and know that you deserve this happiness. Honestly, that would be enough for me to explain how, but I'm going to go further than that. And I'm going to draw 3 cards for this Querent. Show me a story on how this person can create more abundance over the next 6 months. And I'm just going to, I know this isn't fair, but I'm doing it for this purposes. Like I said, I always. Okay, yep. Yipper duty. Okay, this person is blocking their own success. They are their own worst enemy because they are so focused on what they don't have or looking around the corner at either, everyone's out to get them, that they are blocking their own abundance energy. So they need to look around them, enjoy and be grateful for the things that they have in their life. And that's when success comes. They will see a shift, and it even says 6, right? 6 months. Within 6 months, if you change where you're not looking over your shoulder, you're not looking around the corner for the next best thing, you are in your life, you're in the now, you're enjoying the things in your life. And if you don't have anything in your life that you enjoy, then get a hobby. Play some video games, go out dancing, take a class, do something, right? That brings the bliss back in your life. Think about the things that you wanted to do when you were a child. And then life got in the way and said, no, you can't do that because you're not going to make enough money. No. Do those things because when you change your frequency, you change your future. That's the way I see it. And I feel like this reading pretty much just said exactly what I said from the very beginning, right? All right, now let's do another one. All right, and the last question that I was going to do is what's blocking self-confidence and how can I begin to reclaim my power? So, I did have, like I said, and I think I am going to do that one, the imposter syndrome spread. But I'm also going to draw one card from the roots to blooms because that is also a very empowering affirmation deck. So, what's blocking self-confidence and how can I begin to reclaim my power? So, give me an empowerment message for this Querent right out of the gate, please. What is something or an affirmation that this person can do for themselves? All right, give it to me now. Okay. So I'm going to hold that aside for a minute, and we're going to do the imposter syndrome spread from my second edition. And I'm going to use the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin, because this feels like it is the things that we do in our everyday, and it's very much, it feels like you can see like modern day things on the cards, right? And that might actually help. So, okay. Move this stuff aside. So, why do I feel like an imposter? Why does this Querent feel like an imposter? Or why do they have a lack of self-confidence, right? Same difference, really. Okay. What has caused this feeling? We're just going to go with it. And what can help me gain more confidence? What can help them gain more confidence? Is this field something that I should pursue? So what was the question again? What's blocking self-confidence, and how can I begin to reclaim my power? So we probably won't do that one. What will it look like? No, wait a minute. All right. We're going to leave it at the first three questions, and then we're going to ask the final question of how can you begin to reclaim your power? And we're going to do a 3-card for that. 3-card story. How can the Querent regain their power? How can they regain their power? All right, we're going to do this. All right, so to the first question, why do they feel like an imposter? Probably because it's something new, okay? Perhaps it has to do with a certain field, which I could have asked, right? But this one, it shows like somebody that is something that they're manifesting, a new job probably, or a new field that they're going into, and they feel like they don't know enough because they're too beginner, or they don't feel like they have enough wisdom or life experience in this particular manner. So that's partially what's blocking it. What has caused this feeling? Yeah. Emotional detachment. Maybe depression of some sort, right? Maybe you're feeling depressed, or maybe when you started showing interest in a certain field, somebody walked out, right? Obviously, I would be asking questions of the Querent if the Querent was live with me, which is what I would prefer, or like a face-to-face video or something like that in a reading. If not, then I would just say that either it was due to, because normally I don't look at the 8 of Cups as depression. I look at the 9 of Cups as depression. However, or the 9 of Swords, I should say. The 8 of Cups is more about emotionally detaching and, walking away, finally saying, I'm done and I've walked away. But however, all of their dishes are piling up in this picture. So they're emotionally just drained. They're just tired, right? So perhaps this new feeling of something that this person is not feeling comfortable about or confident about is something perhaps that they had talked to their parents about, or their significant other, and they just did not feel supported in it, okay? And that the other person just emotionally detached from them because of this particular thing, or abandonment issues. They've got some sort of abandonment issues in regards to the self-confidence. This feels like it's either job related or person related to me. Anyways, the next question would be, what can help me gain more confidence? The sun. Finding joy in your life. Finding the truth of who you are. I think for starters, it would just be doing the things that you enjoy. Because, I mean, obviously, if you're feeling down and you don't have confidence and you're afraid of, somebody abandoning you when you show a certain level of confidence or even interest in something that you have, that you're afraid that they don't have interest in it. You still have to be because I see the sun as also bringing bringing light to the truth. So you have to be your most authentic person. You have to let others in. You need to let down your walls a little bit and let people in to see who you really are, right? And from that, you're going to find that not everybody is going to emotionally abandon you like somebody already has emotionally abandoned you. And because I believe that's where it started. That's where your lack of self-confidence comes from, or your imposter syndrome comes from, a lack of people that have been in your close circle actually giving you the support that you needed. And how do you regain your power back? Two of blades, two of swords, right? Ace of blades, knight of blades. Wow, lots of swords. This really feels like just planning what you want to do and taking the initiative to just do it, right? You just got to go for it, and you got to have trust. The only way, it's like a Nike commercial, the only way is to just do it. You think that you don't have, the ability to make the choice that you want to, but you do. So you have to, or the universe is going to make it for you, right? That's one of the things that it says about the two of swords. If you don't make it, the universe is going to make it for you. So you might as well make it, right? Choose what it is that you want. Go towards happiness. Be bold. Sometimes I say it's also about faking it until you make it, because this is just really very fiery energy. So, but it's also like beginner and just going forward. This is very like Aries energy to me. Very Aries energy. So you just, in that case, you just have to go for it. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off. So that's what I would say. And trust in, you got to surround yourself by the right people, the people that want to see you happy, not the ones that want to keep you in a certain energy, okay? And I feel like the person that just walked away from you, and they didn't necessarily have to walk away from you, but emotionally abandon you whenever you were trying to achieve something to do better for yourself. They would maybe emotionally knock you down whenever you had an idea or something like that. That's where it stems from. So there's truth and there's revelation in that. Once you see the truth of it, then you can start building from it. So that's what I would say. Oh, health, nourishing, and vitality, nutrients. So what I think that this means is surround yourself with the right people, right? What are you taking in? Who are the people that are surrounding you? What kind of content are you watching? What kind of movies? What kind of music are you listening to? These are the things that bring you a certain level of Either you are a victor or a victim. You choose what frequency you want to be in. And that comes from your environment. So that's what I think that means. So, Carla, these were really great questions. So for me, honestly, the best way for me to do readings for people that I love the most is the one-on-one, where I am sitting with that person and I can have a conversation with them. As much as I wanted to possibly, and I probably could if I absolutely had to, but I don't want to be like a hotline reader or anything like that, where I have to give really quick 3-minute questions, or answers, I should say, and not really get down to the meat of what's going on in order to truly help people. And so having actually a good reading, a detailed reading, would involve me being able to, I think, actually have a discussion with another person, right? So like FaceTime videos or correspondences back and forth, in order to understand the situation so that I could do the best possible job for the benefit of my querent. That is the most important thing to me. And so I think this is great. I think that this kind of stuff on YouTube is wonderful. And you're right. I have heard so many complaints about consumerism and all that. And we do show our work. Every month we show our readings, including the decks, because that is what TarotTube is about, right? It is about how you use your decks, and it's also showing the new decks, because I also want to tell you, even by getting the same cards in different decks, it can change the reading, right? I think it can. I think the artwork and the energy of a deck can completely change it, even with the same cards. So, thank you for spending this time with me. I will put all of the questions down below and the original video that my sister made. I hope that you join into this as well. And I am sending you love always.